Welcome! Bonjour. Bienvenue? I don't know how to say it.
Bienvenue.
Bienvenue, yes. And then, okay, bienvenue to the French Grand Prix show. Yes, boys and girls, woo! This is Box Box Goss.
Woo!
We are so excited to be back. We're always excited to be back, but we love getting to chat with you. We're gonna kick off obviously with some news, and the big news, if y'all all forgot because of how kind of exciting the French Grand Prix was, guess who's not a part of the FIA anymore? I'll give you a hint. Okay. I'll give you a clue. He's Australian, I think.
He's Australian?
This is really bad if he isn't, by the way.
Is that
if he isn't? Well, he's moving to Australia.
Yeah. Oh. Is his name Jamie Wincup?
Yeah,
no.
I wish. Why? Anyway, what's it called? Let me give you another hint. He may or may not have to do with a particular kind of controversial decision that happened at the end. Why am I being censored?
It's well deserved. We said we wouldn't talk about it. No. We don't talk about it anymore. I agree. For the record, before people come at me, I agree. But it's over, and there's nothing that can be done about it. He's gone. You can rest in peace. You can stop haunting us. Please.
Let's get on with the rest of our lives. Anyway, if you haven't guessed by now, it's Michael Massey. Yes, Michael Massey, everyone's favorite steward.
We should know this. But was he fired or did he leave? Because I know he was repositioned.
I think he left on his own volition. I don't think he was sacked. But I do think that his sacking might have not been entirely voluntary. I mean, not sacking, but his leaving was not entirely voluntary. Look, you know how companies can be. I mean, if any of you guys are out there in the workforce, solidarity, all that fun stuff. But usually when you make enough missteps, companies don't like to make things too comfortable for you and encourage you maybe to go out. And the FIA is probably not the most workplace friendly place. It's not going to make the Forbes top 100 best places to work. I'm mean, but I'm it's kind of true. So
Hamilton fans
I think that's kind of what happened. Yeah,
I mean, but that was a part of it. And the thing is that even though they addressed that, I don't know what happened, but all I know is that Michael Massey, he was removed from his post and then he was sent somewhere else. Mm-hmm. I don't know what went down in that someplace else, but
yeah.
Hey.
I think he just left. I don't think he was pushed out. I think he was just, I've been pulled from my position anyways, might as well leave. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
I think he retired anyways.
Yeah. If you want a good idea of what probably might have happened, watch on Netflix.
Read the news.
No, not read the news. Watch on Netflix Agrexco. It's an anime based on the Sanro. No, wait. It's not F1. It has nothing to do with anything. But basically,
not sponsored.
Season 4. Not sponsored. But season, especially you've been suspiciously quiet during all of this.
That's a good question.
I was expecting him to leave earlier. So
I don't exactly. I don't get why he's still around in the FIA. What's the point?
Honestly, Michael Massey is one of those people where the fuck up that he made a while ago was mad. I don't care.
I feel I agree with what Sam said. They didn't fire him. They just made his life a little bit more uncomfortable. But I feel they removed him from his post and sent him somewhere else so that the FIA can save face. They make it seem like they did something.
I
don't
don't.
think he left mattered though. I really genuinely do not think the way he left matters. He's gone. Good riddance.
True.
I don't
Bad at your job.
understand. I don't understand
No.
why. I don't understand why the axe falls on one person only. Like why?
Oh,
Why
absolutely.
is the stewarding
I agree with
system
that.
in the FIA dependent on one race steward? Why?
And
It's
also,
like
and also there's, yeah.
that's such a
Go
bad
ahead, Selim.
system. That's such a bad way to do it. Also, having
And
teams
also-
talk straight to the FIA director, who in the Netflix came up with that?
I don't know. And another thing to add on to it, there's 4 other race stewards who are a part of that mess. Like, I mean, what my question is, what happens to them? So it's like there are 4 other different people. They were a part of that mess, as well as Michael Massey. I don't think it's just him. It's not only him. It's not only Michael.
Are all 5 of them directors? Or
No,
is-
actually, that's a great question. I want to know where the other ones are. And if you know pit crew, I say you probably know this, right?
Don't send the Hamilton fans after them. Don't do this. They're living peaceful
No, I'm not
lives.
sending, no. I'm not sending anybody. I'm just saying if you know, don't do anything stupid. But if you happen to know,
You're
where those
saying
people are.
this to Formula
Sam,
One Twitter.
Don't do it. Listen
I
to
will
reason.
cut this out. I might cut this out.
Okay, fine.
This
Please,
is the
please,
voice
please,
of
please,
reason,
please, please.
Adam.
Okay, fine. I am going to do my research because I know I will not do anything. I think. No, I won't. Please. I won't do anything. I really honestly just want to know where they are because I'm curious. I honestly think that the FIA has made new regulations and things like that to avoid and specified the rules and made it more clear so that things like this do not happen again. But I agree, the whole system, it's very institutional.
I don't even know if it's changed. I don't even know if it's better
Yes.
now.
Okay.
It's shrouded in mystery. The FIA, the way that the stewards
It's a
work.
little more. I think they changed it to make
Yeah.
it more clear. And this one, can I ask the pit crew if they know if it's actually changed? They should let us know.
Yeah. Also,
Thank you.
So, pit crew,
like you're like,
We
yeah,
are-
I just
I
want to
pit crew,
know.
let us remind you.
Shut up! Oh my
Yes.
days! Everyone, shut up! I think they're. Thank you. God damn! I've been trying to speak for like 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Jesus. Anyways, I think the reason that was. I apologize. I'm sorry for yelling at you guys. I love you. I think the reason why Massey is getting so much flack for is because he is the face of the FIA. He was the face of the FIA at the time. So please, let's be clear.
Okay.
He had a lot to do with what everything happened.
No,
If
of
we
course,
put it in
but he
percentages,
shouldn't
It
have.
was a good 65% of the.
He shouldn't have been the final decision maker.
No, he
there shouldn't
shouldn't,
be
and that is
one
the
person
thing
who's
that
the
we
final
need to point
decision
out,
maker.
But we can,
Stop the race for all
and
I
I
care.
completely agree. There is a systematic issue
Yes.
within the FIA.
Stop the
Well, I
race.
think the same as-
Take a minute. Fix everything. Because it's like something as big as a final championship race needs to be taken more seriously. Also, I cut Affy off again.
Mhm.
She's going to shout at me, and I'm sorry.
It's true.
It's like,
No, it's fine.
Anyway, we need to
It's
move on.
not-
If you want to see how we
I
felt
agree.
about it immediately after the race, please go and look at our Abu Dhabi 2021 show. It is up on YouTube.
Is it?
It is. It
And
is. And I think
also,
Rudra was,
Victor-
Rudra, shout out to Rudra. He was the guest on our
Ruja
show
was there.
during that. So we thank Rudra
Yeah.
for being there because Chale, it could have been actually a lot worse. Anyway, Asay, you have our next piece of news and we want to give you the floor for this one. So take it away.
All right. So right after we wrapped up our last show, it came to our attention that there was a French commentator that made some very ableist remarks about Lance Stroll. He called him autistic. And I in particular want to set the record straight about that. There's nothing wrong with being autistic, okay, people? First of all, there's so many different layers to autism. There's executive function, there's sensory issues, there's the way that you interact with people, there's special interests. And there's special interests. There's so many different things that encompasses being autistic that to call it as to say that as an insult is really insulting, actually, and it's ableist and it's wrong. Lance Stroll, we don't know if Lance Stroll is autistic. That's not our problem. And that's not our problem. That's not our concern. And it's nobody's business. We're also not gonna name who the French commentator is, but it has also come to our attention that he's been suspended while this whole issue has been put under review, saying that this is also a comment with their channel. And Formula One, they haven't come out with saying anything, surprise, but
I don't think they have
right
to.
now.
Like if the French channel suspended the commentator, I don't think it falls on Formula One's shoulders to say something.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but then at the same time, Back Channel was commissioned by F1 to do the French commentary.
Oh, it was also on F1 TV, I believe. So
Yeah.
if you picked French, okay, then it falls on the shoulders of F1. But it's like if they suspend them quietly, it's fine.
Yeah,
They've done.
But I say you're very diplomatic about the way you said everything. And I
Yeah,
would like
my
to
gosh.
not be diplomatic. The French
It's
commentator
impressive.
is a bitch. And if you're using like neurodivergent issues as insults, what are you, 7? What are you what are you on? Also I think as this group of people, Box Box Goss is made up of a pretty diverse group of people, neurodivergent and race and sexuality, all of it. We're diverse, right? But the thing is, I don't understand how you, a person who has been paid, trained, and probably went to study in communications, are using things like that. Are you
I don't
stupid?
know.
Like, what are you?
I don't know.
Like, let's get it together, you know? This commentator sucks. I hope I don't know who they are. I hope they never see the light of day when it comes to F1 again, because that was stupid. That was stupid. And again, that again brings me up to Verstappen's comment that happened a while ago. Miles back. That was also messed up too. That was also messed up too. And Lance, not because I'm his wife or anything, but he deserves an apology. If there was an apology given, then great. But the Mongolian government also deserves an apology, and I expect it to so good times.
Well, long story short, the French commentator fucked around and he found out real quick that is not okay. And he's right. That person sucks. So
they are a bitch. So tell them I like your sweater today.
You like my what?
Sweater.
Thanks. You're not sketchy. It's from Everlane, by the way. I am still looking for brand endorsements, especially since, Anyway, well, Asay and Afi and Selim, that was all very eloquently put. I couldn't have said it better. Just don't go there, commentators. You know better. Okay?
No, exactly.
They
gained nothing. They gained nothing from that. And they lost pretty much everything.
Yeah. Sucks to be you. Anyway, we're gonna move on now. One of us is going to disappear in a real hot minute.
Did you have to put it as if we're doing like a magic trick?
Yes, I do, because we're like the Penn and Teller show. I mean,
I'm
we were
editing this together. I'm editing this together. This is gonna be pain.
Okay, so one of us is gonna disappear in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. As you can see, Sadem has promptly disappeared from the stream, but we have someone else. I'm not going to say better so that she doesn't hunt me down. We have Timo today, everybody. Hello. Hi, Timo.
Hello. Thank you for having me on again for the third time this time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back. It is a pleasure, as always, to have you with us. For our new viewers, which we have quite many, would you like to introduce yourself and how you got into Formula One?
Of course. So this is my third time on the show. If you haven't seen me before, my name's Timo, and I have been watching Formula One for a very long time. I can't give an exact date on when I started watching, but I can probably the best memory I have as a child was probably Jenson Button winning the 2009 championship, which is still such a good moment to me. It's iconic, and that's what really sticks in my mind. So, long time.
So I'm guessing that makes you a Mercedes fan then? Yeah.
Yeah, I wish. No, but no, I don't necessarily hate or love a team per se, but I do have my ups and downs with other teams and stuff. So.
Do you support a specific driver or drivers?
In this championship right now, I support Verstappen, but it depends on who's fighting for it each year. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I say, would you like to get us started with qualifying for the French Grand Prix?
Yes. So you guys gotta help me out here, but from what we understand is that on pole this time around was on pole for the French Grand Prix was Charles Leclerc. Number 2 was Max Verstappen, and number 3 was Sergio Perez. Now I'm gonna open it up and say yes, Charles Leclerc got on pole, that one good for him. But may I just say that the real hero of the qualifying was Carlos Sainz with some brilliant laps. Brilliant, just brilliant. It was on fire. What do you guys think?
I think it's quite a shame that he had to take a bunch of engine penalties, and so he didn't even bother setting a lap in Q3, at least a proper lap in Q3, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, I feel like we would have seen him on the second row.
Yeah, I agree with
I'm willing to bet he would have gotten pole.
I'm willing to, yeah.
I
What do
disagree.
you think?
I disagree a little bit, just because I feel like the morale isn't necessarily super there with him. But he's a brilliant driver, super talented. He should be very proud of himself. But God, Ferrari is a fucking team. What type of bro? Oh, that team frustrates me so much for so many different reasons. But we'll get into it with the actual race.
True. And it's like, no, it's just watching. It's just hearing about it. I gotta confess, guys, I did not watch qualifying, but hearing about what Charles Leclerc has done, it's like, I'm sorry, not Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. He is mad consistent these days. And it's just like seeing the consistency and his growth from his McLaren days. I mean, dare I say it, could he be a world championship contender in the years or so? What do you guys think? Anybody thoughts?
I would say maybe. The problem is he's consistent, but he doesn't have those peaks. Like he can have peaks, but not as many. And I think as long as he's in the same team as Leclerc, he will never get a championship. I think that seriously. It's the same situation with Perez. Perez could win a championship if he wasn't in a team with Verstappen. And so it's exactly, they've got a lot of talent, but then there's always that one person who is just above, just a little bit.
The 1-2 driver mentality in these like 1-2-3 teams, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull is so bad. Is so bad. And it's really disappointing. Like honestly, Lewis and George, I feel like have a little bit more competition between each other because, you know, Mercedes isn't necessarily in a position to really have 1-2 drivers right now. But but it's nice to see, you know, especially in a big team like that. But for Ferrari and Red Bull, you're absolutely right. The number 2 drivers will never get a chance at World Champ, which sucks. Really does, because they do deserve it.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, sorry. Please go on.
All right. Well, the thing with Perez is he has those moments where he could definitely be on the pace of Verstappen, but what he can't do is do it consistently. He has like the Monaco Baku like time span. He was amazing. He was on Verstappen's level during that time, but after that, he's just lost it. He's really completely lost that pace completely out of nowhere. And so I think that's what the problem is with Perez and Sainz, is that they can have the peaks where they can be on the number 1 level and then drop down to number 2 out of completely nowhere.
Sadly, as Ferrari will very quickly realize, winning a championship is about consistency. Right? It's about providing a car that works, and it's about providing the pace that's going to sort of keep up with your competition. And, you know, like Timo said, Leclerc and Verstappen deliver consistently. And I think Hamilton is up there as well. I wish we were seeing a 3-way battle this year. And I think it's possible for next year if Mercedes really pull themselves up a little bit more. But I think what we saw during the French Grand Prix is just a taster. You know?
It is a good taster. No, I agree with that. It is a good taster. And I think that if Ferrari and Red Bull are not careful, Selim might get your wish earlier than expected. Like I'm probably gonna go into this a little bit more in the race, but Mercedes, they're getting up there. They're getting up there. The reliability hasn't changed. It's still their greatest asset. They're getting up there and they're proving to be a fight. And now other teams are starting to realize it too. So it's like, yeah, it's something.
But even if you look at all the practices, Ferrari was consistent throughout the practices. They were always top. Wait, hold on, let me not lie. They were always top 3. Wait, yeah, they were always top 3. Like either one of the drivers was first or second, which was really good to see. But the issues that they have managing their team, specifically their power unit, is for what reason? Bro, we're not even at the summer break yet, and we're already hitting penalties. Haas, understandable, it's Haas. But Ferrari? I honestly didn't expect it. I'm incredibly disappointed with them. But with that, can we move into the race?
Oh yes, let's get into that race. I mean, with the race, the top 3 was Max Verstappen as the winner of the French Grand Prix. Yes. Then number 2 was Hamilton. Very nice indeed. And then 3rd, we got George Russell. So we got a Mercedes double podium. Yay. And we still get to see some Max Verstappen on the top step. And let's get into the most pressing matter of it. They took away the Gorilla trophies.
Did they? I didn't watch the podium. I couldn't be asked.
It was like a steel tower or something or whatever.
That's right.
BS.
Wow.
And for me, it breaks my heart because the Gorilla trophies have character.
That's the only good part about France, to be completely honest. I hate that track. It's a stupid fucking track, and I generally don't like the race. Like, this was the first French Grand Prix that I was like, oh, something happened. But Like I look forward to the trophies. I don't know why I didn't watch podium this time. It was late. That's why.
It was late on our end, but it's like, but no one was like. I mean, we could go on and on and on about the trophies, but let's get into the race. Where do we start? I mean, you got Carlos Sainz climbing up the grid, like he's climbing up the grid, and that in its sense is phenomenal because Charles Leclerc binned it in the middle of the race. It's
and
I still feel. Go ahead, Selim.
Before we get to that, Fernando Alonso had a blazing start, overtaking even George Russell at one point, which I think is really impressive in that Alpine. Kind of makes me sad that we're losing the French Grand Prix next year because I would have actually gone. But anyways, I think it was an amazing start. Yeah, exactly. We're losing the Belgium Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that might come back though with the French Grand Prix leaving next year. So
I really hope so. I think them getting rid of the most iconic Grand Prix on the calendar is never going to go down well.
It really isn't.
But why are they iconic?
They're iconic because of the history.
That's all.
Well, Spa is a good track. It's an excellent track.
Wait. They're getting. Wait, I wasn't paying attention. They're getting rid of Spa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the rumor mill. Yeah.
Spa and Monaco.
Monaco, okay, but
Spa and France. That's the
I
rumor.
understand Spa, Loki, a death trap, but like I like it. But then they put Jeddah. Wait, hold on, wait. They're okay with Jeddah.
So we have 4 races in the Middle East, 3 races in the United States, and they're getting rid of Spa and Monaco. And France, but who cares?
Do we know if Japan is staying?
Japan is staying.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like Japan. I'm happy.
Like, in all fairness to the US, that place is huge. Like, I remember one time I took a flight from New York, which is like on the East Coast, to Phoenix, Arizona, which is getting closer to the West Coast. That took 4 hours. So, like, to have 3 different races in the US in 3 different geographical locations, you got to give a concession. It's fair. Now, the 4 races in the Middle East, yeah, that's a lot. 2 would be ideal at best. 4 is just being greedy.
They should put one in Africa.
Yeah.
I think there is one coming in South Africa next year or the year after.
That's the rumor, but I want confirmation.
I hope we get a race.
I think the South African Grand Prix would be the replacement for Spa. That's the rumor going.
Because there's history there too. Yeah. Honestly, a Ghanaian Grand Prix.
Oh my gosh, we talked about this. It would be chaos.
Listen. The potholes are just obstacles. That's all. That's all. I think that would be fine.
Mario Kart style.
You say that now. But then at the same time, it's like, yeah. I mean, so let's get back into the race, guys. Now,
going back into the race, I think that we should all remember that Sainz started 19th, finished 5th. Great job.
Which is impressive.
Even though there were 4 do not finishes. It's okay. It's fine. He should still be very proud of himself. The normal do not finishes, like Yuki, honestly, bro. I don't know why I put Yuki in my team last year, my fantasy team. Also, remove Ferrari from your fantasy team. Anyone who has them, I have them. Unreliable. And I'm at the bottom. I'm like at the bottom of
my fantasy team.
I'm so upset.
Like, if I do, like, yeah. I mean, Ferrari they had a good race with Carlos Sainz, but they absolutely bended with Charles Leclerc. And it turns out it wasn't even an issue with the car. Like Charles, the issue was more so Charles Leclerc's fault. He oversteered.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you're racing at that top caliber, when you're keeping up that consistency, a mistake every once in a while is okay.
But
Right?
that's the thing, right? If you say once in a while, but Verstappen hasn't made a mistake in 2 years, more or less, at that level.
I mean,
That's why
Yeah.
he's a world
Verstappen's
champ.
different gravy.
That's why he's a world
Right.
champ. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
to be honest, I think Charles is starting to blame himself a little bit too much when it comes to the fucking team that he's racing
Yeah.
in. Because the team that he's
Yeah.
racing in is not being helpful whatsoever. What was the advice that when was the advice he gave to Science? Keep your head down. We're working on it. Where's the work?
working on what?
My head is down.
Oh,
But I see no results.
can we talk about something? Helmet
Yeah,
Marco.
let's talk.
Who likes Helmet Marco?
That
Half the
sack
time.
of dust. Why is he still there?
Because do you know what he said? Do you know what he said about Sergio Perez when he was caught napping at the safety car restart?
I would nap. What?
Helmet Marco said that maybe Perez had too much tequila.
That is not okay. It's so not okay. Like, why are you saying that about your driver?
The problem is a
And
lot of
then
his comment. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I said the problem is a lot of Marco's comments also get taken out of the context he's talking. Often he's speaking in German, and so the translation or the joke of the translation doesn't get carried over. So so sometimes the nuance is lost a bit, but a lot of it is also just straight up BS. But also a lot of it is also truth. So half the time he's speaking the truth, half the time he's speaking BS. It's hard to tell with that guy.
Why is he there? Isn't there like an age limit?
No.
There should be an age limit. That's once you become ageist.
As much as we do kind of hate him, he can't lie. He gets results out of drivers.
He does.
Mm,
I do completely agree with you. But that's probably because he's you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's
That's
fine.
right. You self-correct yourself, Affy.
I'm learning
Like-
self-restraint.
It's hard to admit, but there's no lying.
But
Still
it's good to
BS.
see because we had Red Bull 1-4 and then Mercedes 1-2, so we had a Red Bull sandwich. But also
Yeah.
in qualifying we had Lando. What was he, 5th? So it's good to see results coming out of him. And then we also Danny.
I mean,
Danny.
Lando came in 7th and Daniel Ricciardo came in 9th.
Yes,
So,
so great. Top 10. That's all we need.
top
that's
10.
all
It's
we
not
need.
about the points, but it's like something's up with McLaren.
Something
Like
has been
something
up
is-
with McLaren since the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
The McLaren has been the problem is the Mercedes engine hasn't been very spectacular in terms of its performance, and that combined with the McLaren's incredible drag, it's probably one of, if not the most draggiest car on the grid. It just gives it such a terrible straight line deficit, which in France is what you need. It's everything. So considering that they got 2 top 10 results in that race is pretty impressive for McLaren.
Yeah.
Also, it was nice to see Sebastian and Lance have a little bit of a high five moment at the end of the race.
Okay.
Oh,
People
Yeah.
like criticized the ever-loving about Lance Stroll after the race. Like they went to his like old Instagram posts and like commented stuff to defend Seb. And honestly, the boy did well. Right?
Yeah.
He defended well. He didn't move under braking. He did everything like any other driver would do. And Vettel, they were equally matched this weekend. And I was quite impressed. Right? I was quite impressed to see them sort of tussling it out without crashing into each other. I genuinely thought that a mistake was going to be made there.
They did touch at the.
It touched a little bit, but it was like it was fun to watch them go at it. And I wish we would have gotten more of that F1 direction. But no, just seeing them go at it together. I agree with Sal. It was fun to watch. Sorry about your husband, Nafi.
Here's the thing. If we know that Max Verstappen won the race, and there's a battle going on.
Oh, zoom in.
Why, and this is going to get clipped, why do we need to be watching Max Verstappen cross the finish line?
We don't, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting because out of the last corner with Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel going to the finishing line, he had Vettel trying to get that crossover with Stroll, but Stroll moved quite erratically out of the exit with turning in. He kept turning in, so Vettel had to lay off the throttle basically to not smash into his diffuser, which was quite concerning, considering that they're teammates and they're fighting for a single point, and so it's and they're not fighting for any drivers' championship. So for Lance Stroll to risk crashing both of them out in that moment was very strange.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I think you've got a point. Like, yeah, good driving, yeah, good defending, but they're teammates. They need to keep that in mind. Then again, Turkish Grand Prix 2020, where the Ferraris battled it out on the last corner.
Ooh.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That was
again, Leclerc made a mistake and lost him the podium there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That did.
But then we got to see Lance Stroll on the podium. So, Charles Leclerc, then Lance Stroll on the podium.
For Turkey 2020, was that not Perez and Vettel?
Yeah, it was Perez and Vettel. We saw Lance Stroll on pole in 2020.
Yeah,
and he totally binned it during the race. He was very upset, or either he did or his team made a mistake.
No, his car was damaged over some curbs in the race, and so he just couldn't do anything about it.
Which was a shame to see.
Yeah.
But regarding this race and the driver standings for championship, it's Max, Charles, Sergio. But I can completely understand Charles's pain and his scream because it really screwed him up with the points. So like the gap between Max and Charles is now 63 points. And if we do some HL maths, that's going to be hard to make up, especially with the unreliability of his team. And then with George and Lewis, the gap has become a lot closer, and it's about, hold on, I'm doing math. Like less than 20 points.
Yeah,
Mr. Pepperin would be so proud.
And Sainz is like 1 point ahead of Russell, so it's getting very close.
Yeah, which is, so I think we're gonna see a pretty good midfield battle after summer break. And but honestly, I foresee with the way that Ferrari is going, I see Max being a second-time champ.
Yeah, I would.
Honestly, he deserves it. Honestly,
he has been flawless all year. He's in like the Hamilton 2020 mode basically right now. So,
except I don't appreciate his battle with my other husband, but it's okay. It's fine.
How many do you?
We will talk about it.
Wait, which battle?
Does it matter?
Which battle? Which battle is that?
I think this is from
Schumacher and I think it was Britain.
Yeah,
Schumacher and
Schumacher.
I didn't appreciate it, but it's okay.
It was very hard racing. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
And then regarding the teams, we have Red Bull first. They are up 82 points over Ferrari, and then Yeah, wait, what the heck? The gap between Mercedes and Alpine, which is 3 and 4, is a little less than 200 points. And I really hate that in this sport, how we have those 3 teams that dominate and then everyone else. But the midfield battle between, it's not really a midfield battle, but it's Alpine and McLaren between those two because it's less than 10 points between them. It's 4. So that's going to be interesting to see. And McLaren should be doing better than that. That's ridiculous, to be completely honest. Alpine's doing great, but McLaren should be doing better.
With the Mercedes engine in the back, I'm honestly surprised that the Alpines are beating them.
Yeah, same.
It's amazing the resurgence that they've had. Part of me wishes they were still Renault, just because I supported Renault my whole life. But yeah.
The thing is with the engine situation, all the engines are within like 20 horsepower of each other. So the engines aren't really making the difference anymore. It's really all about the aero philosophy.
Well, unless your engine blows up every race.
Yeah, so that's the issue. So that's what Renault and Ferrari did. They decided, let's just go for performance this year because we can't update our engines anymore. And the one thing they can do is they can keep upgrading the engines for reliability purposes. So they're like, we are going to make the best engine possible in terms of performance. And if it blows up, it blows up. So it's like, that's really the mentality with Renault and Ferrari right now.
If their mentality is to continue updating their engines for reliability purposes, they should stop. Because it seems to be getting less reliable throughout the entire season.
I think Renault's okay.
Listen, I'm not Ben. No, Renault's fine.
We haven't seen that many Renault engine failures.
Alonso's on his 5th engine out of the 3 that you should be legal. So not that they've blown up in the race, but after the race, they've always had issues after the race. So they have to say we have to have a new engine.
Fascinating.
Something that I'm seeing regarding Constructors Championship is that Williams is in the top 10, so we should clap for them. But they have 3 points. Don't really understand how they got those.
Wait!
Do you
Wait! I can't believe I actually clapped for that. Hold on.
You didn't get it, did you? Oh my god.
Hi.
Okay,
bye, Salo. Bye, Salo. Much love. How did they get the 3 points?
Albon in Australia.
Yeah.
What did he do? What? He was top 10?
He went from 20 to 10. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Is he still dyeing his hair red?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Should try a different color. It was a good cause, but it's not working anymore. You should try something else.
It's still a nice gesture.
I do want to ask you all a question.
What's that question?
Because I saw a tweet the other day.
Okay.
And it said that so people were arguing, they were saying that, pay drivers shouldn't be in Formula One, etc., etc. However, it's such a reality that there are pay drivers who come into the sport and then end up improving. I think as much as, I don't think he's the best driver on the grid, Lance Stroll, we've seen him improve. We've seen him get a couple of podiums and we've seen him be fairly decent. Checo Perez was a pay driver at the start, right? He was signed to Sauber because of his sponsors. And I mean, look how that's going. And so is the argument, and the question is, do pay drivers still exist to an extent in Formula One, or is every driver essentially considered a pay driver because of how expensive the sport is?
At this point, it's getting to a point where the sport is getting more and more expensive. So yeah, every driver is a paid driver. Hate to say it. Except in an essence, if your names are not Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, or Lando Norris, in a sense, you are a bit of a paid driver. Because at the end, you're going to have to bring in sponsors. there comes a point, there's also more exceptions. There comes a point where you have to start proving yourself so that you can prove that the investment that you're bringing in is worth getting something back in return. So it's like,
As much as
I'm willing to say, sorry, you go.
As much as Lando is not a pay driver, his parents are rich.
Yeah,
As
So-
hell.
Yeah, but I'm also, since the budget cap came in, the necessity for large amount of sponsors has also died down a little bit. And especially like with Red Bull, for example, they've got the Oracle and Bybit sponsorship, and that in its own already gives them 150 million a year. That is over the budget cap already. So they're getting money from 2 sponsors, which is over the budget cap. So in terms of car development and operations within the team, that is all covered already. So the driver sponsorships don't really matter anymore. And so Perez and Verstappen are both there for the quality and not for the sponsorships. So that's with some teams. Obviously with Williams or with Haas, they don't get to the budget cap yet. They don't have enough money to hit the budget cap. So with Latifi, they've got quite a lot of money. But also with Schumacher, he brings in quite a few German sponsors as well. So
Yeah.
there's still the element, but lots of drivers aren't paid drivers essentially because the budget cap is covered already. And so it's a debate that can go on forever. Essentially.
I think.
I think though. Oh,
Sorry.
tell him I'll yell at you again. I promise I will throw him. No, I'm joking. No, I just wanted to say that we need to get over the mentality that all paid drivers are shit, because that's not necessarily true. Like you proved that with Perez specifically. Like we don't generally see that, but and he's not, and we've also seen it with Stroll. Like personally, I wouldn't expect him to improve the way that he had. Don't tell him I said that, but I wouldn't expect it.
I will
to be
clipping this and sending it to him personally.
Oh, please don't. He doesn't even respond to my text. But I think that we also need to consider the team, and what Timo said was like really smart, specifically with the sponsors, because if we look at, as you said, Red Bull, and then you compare that to Alfa Romeo, and Alfa Romeo also does get a lot of sponsorships from China with Zhao. So I think there are a lot of layers that need to be looked at when it comes to the discussion of paid drivers and their ability in the sport. But I have a question. I'm looking at the driver roster, right, of the whole thing. Hulkenberg is number 21.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
They're allowed to do that? Wait,
Yeah, he's classified. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he raced in Bahrain and Jeddah. He raced in the first two races, yeah.
This season?
It was unfortunate
Yeah.
he was in literally the worst car, but yeah.
Yeah,
Totally
pretty
missed
much.
that. But I would like to say that Latifi is a disappointment to F1 as a whole. He should just model. No, listen. He should just model for Nutella at this point, because everyone has points but him. Everyone has points this season but him.
He can definitely go try and run for points now, though.
With that car, the only time where a pay driver is bad if they're seat warming, essentially, right? If there's a younger driver, up and coming driver who's much faster, who's much more talented, and they don't have a seat in Formula One, that's when you're gonna have a problem. Also,
that was sorry.
Sorry.
No, Timo, don't apologize. We talk over each other all the time, so pop off.
You should see what Afi did during the news section.
I didn't. I wasn't even rude like that.
No, but Zhou in this case, he brings in a lot of Chinese sponsors, and in case a lot of people were expecting him to be that seat warmer you were talking about, Selim, for the F2 driver Theo Poucher, who's actually doing he's doing decently in F2, but he's not doing as good as everybody really was expecting him to do this year. And so Zhou was expected to be a seat warmer for Alfa Romeo, for Theo Poucher to come in and take that seat. But since Zhou is doing so well now, He's actually putting good performances. He's just been very unlucky with the car.
True.
And Theo Pourchaire is being slightly underwhelming in F2. I expect Joe to be there longer than people have thought he would be.
I think there's potential there. He used to be a Alpine. Was that? No, he used to be an Alpine test driver, right? He used to be in the driver academy.
Yeah, he was a junior.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also didn't Zhou Guanyu win the Rookie of the Year award as well in F2? I think.
He was in F2 for a few years, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Timo, when are you announcing your Red Bull Junior Drivers Program participation?
That, as exciting as that sounds, we're gonna have to start wrapping up. So
really, that's
Timo.
really fast.
Yeah. Or do you?
Boo! Nah, I have nothing
Timo,
to say. It's cool.
my friend.
What's up?
So, yeah.
Thank you for being with us on this podcast.
We got 2 questions to ask Moselim. Sorry to interrupt. First of all, what are your final thoughts?
I guess final thoughts specifically on the race. I would probably say it is getting desperate for Leclerc. He needs to literally be perfect every single race from here on out. He needs to get first every single time. First, if Verstappen gets second, Leclerc gets first, he will have a chance. But if he gets second or third, like 2 or 3 more times, he is pretty much out of it. Like realistically out of it. But Ferrari still could have a chance at the constructors, because Perez isn't really at a good level, while Sainz and Leclerc both are at a decent level at least. And so I think constructors could still be realistic for Ferrari, but drivers is getting really desperate.
Yeah.
It's a pattern. It's a pattern we've seen with Ferrari. 2018, the driver and the car starts out really well. The driver makes a mistake at the midway point, and then just the team just makes a bunch of strategy mistakes, and then they just lose the championship. I hate watching history repeat itself for the second time. There's a part of me that hopes that Leclerc can catch up, but
yeah, I think it's such a repeat of 2018 as well. I mean, you've got the driver error, of course, that really significant one, but also the problem with Ferrari in 2018 is there wasn't really a good management structure or development structure. So the problem they had back then also with not even talking about the driver, was also the development of the car was going in the completely wrong direction. They had complete development uncorrelations between real life and simulation software. And so hopefully that doesn't happen to Ferrari this year again. But I trust that that won't happen, because they've got a whole new simulator they built last year and everything. So I think that they'll be fine with development.
Ferrari, if you're looking for a new strategist and a new strategy department, let us know.
Yes.
If you're looking for a whole a new team principal, let us know.
I'll take the aerodynamic department. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the thing that I find the most interesting about Ferrari though is in the beginning of the season when cars were coming out, everyone was thinking, personally, no, let me not say everyone. I was thinking, Ferrari doesn't look too fast, but they started off so well. They have such a fast car, but the way that they manage their team amazes me. I manage my schoolwork better, and that says a lot, to be completely honest. But it is what it is. Excited for Hungary. Hungary we have next week, I believe, right?
Yes, next week.
It's going to be another Esteban Ocon race win.
100%.
Love that.
I did see that it might be raining on Saturday and Sunday. So
that's what I heard too.
That's good. The heat wave in Europe is bad, right?
It was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But then we also don't know what the rain could do as well. And I hope it doesn't get too terrible like what we had in Spa 2021.
Can I say that was really funny when Verstappen was in front and he said, the spray really isn't that bad. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Mass was in front, but it's okay. It was a pleasure having you, Timo. This was lots of fun. And we will most likely have you again for next season. Clear your
Don't
schedule.
forget the plug. The plug.
Oh, do you want, where can we find you?
I mean, I think my Instagram is quite private, so I'll do my Twitter instead. My Twitter, you can follow me at tcooler70. That's TCOOLER70. That's my Twitter. I just post really random Formula One stuff there and whatever. So I guess if you want to follow that, do it.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Well, Pit Crew, I guess I'm doing the YouTube plug this time. If you are new to our channel, and if you've enjoyed our content, check out our previous podcast. Check out when we had Timo on the last time. Check out last weekend's.
Wait. I don't know if that's actually on YouTube.
Anyways, check out last weekend's where we had Bryson Sullivan on. That one was a fun one. And we will hopefully see you after summer break. Make sure to subscribe if you like our content. Leave a like, leave a comment. Talk about how Affy is delusional and that she cannot marry 6 different Formula One drivers.
Listen, it logically works if you don't think logically. Damn.
Wise words to live by. Anyways, like Timo said, hit that notification bell to be notified of our streams when they go
You can
live.
find Timo. You can find Timo on YouTube. So
Yes.
for Spain of 2021.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
Spain. Yeah, I mean Zandvoort. I mean, have you not uploaded Zandvoort yet?
Is Sanford not there?
Oh, okay.
We don't talk about. All right. Anyways, Pit Crew, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you all next time. Goodbye.